Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to an episode of Double Take. And today's Double Take features Crawl from 2019 and Burning Bright from 2010. These are two fun genre films that are simple, straightforward, to the point, short films. They both share a few similarities. They're both set during hurricanes. They're both feature a woman trying to protect a relative from not only hurricane conditions, but apex predators. So in Burning Bright, it's a rather angry tiger, and in Crawl, it's alligators. Now, both these films do not contain answers to the universe. Both films aren't particularly big on the human condition. They do what they say on the tin, and more importantly, they're not any longer than they need to be. There's nothing worse than a film that should be 90 minutes long, but it's actually 115. If your story is 80 minutes long, your film should be 80 minutes long. It's one of the many annoyances I have of not just modern cinema, but cinema itself. Granted, sometimes studios will say, oh, this film has to be 2 hours, so therefore they just pad the film. So both these films are about an hour and 20 minutes long, but they don't need to be any longer. So we'll start with Burning Bright, which is probably the lesser of the two films. This starts with a wonderful cameo by Meatloaf, as he is selling this dangerous, difficult tiger to was it Garrett Dillahunt, who is going to run this small kind of fair in Louisiana. And Meatloaf goes hell for leather with his performance, telling this anecdote about the tiger and how it attacked a white horse in a circus, and it went for the white horse because it was the prettiest. He goes full bore. The story is really about a girl called Kelly and her autistic brother, and because of financial reasons, Garrett Dillahunt, the stepfather, pretty much wants rid of them so he can get college funds or something. It's fairly convoluted, but essentially during the hurricane, the tiger gets out. Dillahunt uses this as an excuse and pretty much locks them in a house with said tiger. And stripy hell ensues. Crawl from 2019 features an actress who was in the Hunger Games apparently. Directed by Alexandra Asia, who broke on the scene with Haute Tension or Switchblade Romance, a really fun little French serial killer horror film. And since he's come to America, he hasn't really made very interesting films. He did the Hills Have Eyes remake. He did Mirrors with Kiefer Sutherland. He did the Piranha 3D film. He did Horns with Daniel Radcliffe. So, not the greatest filmmaker in the world. Should say Burning Bright's directed by Carlos Brooks. This was only his second film from 2010, and he hasn't made a film since. But Alexander Aja does kind of come across as quite a nice guy. The making of documentary is fascinating as they built these sets, and also they used a gazillion gallons of water. So it's about a girl during a hurricane who is trying to find her estranged father, played wonderfully by Barry Pepper, who is kind of one of those underrated character actors, but he's really good in this. So he's doing work in a house, and he is hurt in a crawl space, hence the crawl of the title. That's probably why it's called Crawl and not Snappy Jaws or something, or Scaly Death Machine or something like that. So they then she tries to get her father out of the crawl space, but because it's a hurricane, water starts coming into the crawl space, and there's a lovely alligator-sized hole in the basement, so a couple of alligators get in as well. So it's them fighting off alligators for an hour or so. Again, both films are fairly daft. Both films are fairly silly. But there is something really enjoyable about them. In Crawl, it's got a relatively high body count. Well, not really that high. As looters turn up, and police turn up in a little boat, which they're fairly unequipped to deal with scaly death machines. Obviously, in her drive to where her father is, there's just a passing shot of an alligator farm sign, so you kind of know what's coming. Obviously, you know by the box it's not a film about killer goldfish. They're just fun little films. Again, they don't have the answer to the universe, but if you can pick them up cheap, they're well worth checking out for a Friday or Saturday night where you can just switch your brain off. It is almost becoming a genre of like hurricane films with more dangerous things than a hurricane in it. So we've had tigers and alligators, so you can probably imagine what would be next. Oh, I was about to say anacondas, but they've kind of done that to death, just not during a hurricane. So thanks very much for watching this very brief double take, because as you can see, there's not really that much to talk about with these two films apart from they're a lot of fun. I should say the effects are very good. In Burning Bright, they tried to use a real tiger as much as possible, which certainly gives you a much better sense of danger. And the effects in Crawl are very good as well. You wouldn't actually be able to tell that they're not highly trained alligators. Yeah, fun films, but I think the takeaway point is these are two genre films that know what they are. They don't have pretensions of being anything more than what they are. And if your film's 83 minutes, if your story's 83 minutes long, make your film 83 minutes long. Which seems simple, But there's so many filmmakers out there that we all know who they are that just don't understand that. It's it's a simple storytelling thing, you would think, but a lot of filmmakers just don't understand that. So thanks so much for watching. Please leave comments below if you've seen Burning Bright or Crawl and what you thought of them. And hopefully we'll see you again for more double takes. This is Solitary Ronin saying farewell.